Good afternoon. Thank you very much. You may all be seated. It's indeed an honor and a privilege to be with you all here today. Today, Memorial Day, is a day that's it's not really about barbecues, the unofficial beginning of summer. It is a day that we remember the men and women who have served unselfishly our nation in time of war. Memorial Day's origins started out as Decoration Day. It is a federal holiday in the United States for honoring and mourning the U.S. military personnel who died while serving in the United States Armed Forces. From 1868 until 1970, it was observed on May 30th, and actually was not even a federal holiday until 1970, until President Nixon proclaimed it to be a federal holiday, and it is to be observed on the last Monday of May. Well, here we are on that last Monday of May, and there's not a day that goes by in my life that I don't think the men and women who served our nation, who fought for our freedom. Freedom is something that we take for granted in our nation. Freedom came at a high price. Freedom cost many lives. Today is a day of remembrance. In my family, as I'm assuming in everyone's family throughout this United States, I have family members who have served in the military in all branches: Air Force, Army. My uncle served in the United States Air Force during the Vietnam War. And I was pretty young at the time, but I remember the homecoming that he got. As you remember, Vietnam was not a very popular war at the time. And those veterans were not given a homecoming they very well deserved. Growing up, I always had a deep appreciation and pride for the men and women who serve our nation. I never had the opportunity to serve in uniform, but like I said, there's never a day that goes by that I don't salute and thank the men and women who fought for me and for us for our freedom in our nation. I've had the opportunity to do several special events in my life. I've had the honor of doing 3 presidential inaugurations, 3 nominating conventions, an economic summit, G7 summit. But one of the most memorable events that I ever took part of was in 1990. It was the National Victory Celebration here in our nation's capital. On that day, President Bush was the lead of a parade, a victory parade. Our troops were just coming back from Desert Storm, Desert Shield, and it was a parade honoring them. We had thousands of military personnel in our nation's capital, and the unity, the pride that I saw was unbelievable. I remember being in tears walking across the ellipse just by the White House and thanking the men and women who served our nation. I always had that military pride. Even though I didn't serve, I had the pride in our military services. Later on in life, I have a lot of family members that were part of the Veterans of Foreign War post locally back in Texas. There was never a night that I went out to that establishment and I didn't think the men and women who served our nation. So it's an honor to be here today to talk about this very special day in our nation's history. You know, our nation has been through a lot in our existence. We can come together on days like today. We can honor the men and women who served our nation. We can do this on the last Monday of, of May every year. Why can't we do this every single day of our lives? Why can't we honor the men and women who serve our nation in uniform? Some of them have paid the ultimate price by giving their lives so that we can be free. Others returned from battle scarred. We owe it to them to take care of them and again to thank them for their service. May God bless you. May God bless our troops, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you.